And sports fans, just I say a quick video, but you never know the way I talk. You might go on for a bit. So Ribbo here for Cowboy Gaming. Just slightly out of shot, heavy breathing is a Boomer. He's going to be providing the hands for today. We were having a look through some of my old World of Warcraft cards, and we found like a bunch on top of the ones I've already mentioned that are actually in this version of the game because they've just reused a bunch of the art. So I thought we'd have a look at some of these. And I think the first one we're going to have a look at here, we're going to start with the Druid stuff. If you would be so kind as to pick them up. Do we recognise this card? Why, yes we do, because it's exactly the same. There we go. It used to cost 4 mana, and you used to draw 3 cards, but now you gain 2 mana crystals. But other than that, it's completely the same. Same name, same art. Let's see what else we got here. We have a Mark of the Wild. Still costs 2 mana, and attached ally has +2 attack and +2 health. Looks surprisingly the same, but no taunt though. Oh, out of focus. The camera seems to want to focus on Mega Man in the background there rather than this Mark of the Wild. If you just try and get it right in the middle, put Mark of the Wild in the middle, the camera should. Oh, there you go. See, the camera's just auto-focusing now. Someone said, "Do you have a new camera?" I was like, "It's actually Boomers." There we go. Anyway, so Mark of the Wild still pretty similar, and we have a Healing Touch. Ooh, and you used to get 10 health for 3 mana, and now it's down to 8 health. Nerf! 10 health was too powerful, as Boomer says there. Oh, and this is actually one of the ones that really interests me. As we know, Starfire is 6 mana, deals 5 damage, and draws a card. And this is what the card used to be. Used to be 6 mana, deals 5 damage, and you draw a card. So they've done, other than just you know, so they obviously thought, well, we've got to do something with the card, right? Because we can't just copy them everything, so we'll just change the picture on it, and then we go, job done, that's what we're being paid for. But yeah, just completely, they just went, yeah, this feels fair. But they didn't like the artwork for some reason. I know a lot of people have mentioned that there aren't many Druids, sorry, there aren't many Taurens featuring on, like, I think it is the least featured of all the races in World of Warcraft in the new card game. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's entirely the same there.
It's also balanced.
I don't think we saw any Hunter cards, did we? We didn't. We saw a few neutral cards that you'd think are Hunter cards, but aren't, and we'll come to those a bit later. But Mage gets a couple of entries here. We have the original Frostbolt. This has got a buff. Wasn't it originally 3 mana and it got buffed to 2 mana? Yeah, it was. So the original Frostbolt in this game we're playing right now, Hearthstone, did cost 3 mana and did freeze and did do the 3 damage. So it was originally the same, and they decided it wasn't powerful enough for mages. Fuck mages, that's right. Nobody likes them. Nobody likes them. What we got here? We got an Arcane Intellect. And that's what the card looks like with. Do the boobs look bigger on it? No, they just cut them off originally, so you get to see the ridiculously thin waistline of the original card. Suffering from a bit of anorexia there, I think, or dysmorphia, or whatever it's called. That was just the art design, wasn't it? And then everyone's favourite, Polymorph, used to be pretty ridiculous, in fact. So this originally, there we go. Originally, it was an enchantment if you ever played Magic the Gathering. So you placed this on the minion itself, and the minion couldn't attack block, lost all its powers, and became Sheepy McSheepersons. But obviously, if you can remove the ability, then it goes back to its original form, which is more like what the actual, you know, game was. Because when you polymorph something, it wasn't a sheep permanently. It is in this game. You know, it's like if you damaged it, it went back to its original form. So, and then there's this card. Now, this is really funny. This one. This is Flame Strike, as we all know, the card everyone hates or loves, depending on whether they have a Flame Strike or their opponent has the Flame Strike. But it's got a buff, because originally it was 7 mana again, and did 3 damage to everything, but it also did players as well. So it did the hero, but now it just does the minions, or how they used to be called, the allies. You know, it's actually in the top corner. Top right of that Flame Strike, there's the little mage symbol there. All of those symbols that were originally used in the game are exactly the same. So again, with the Druid, you got the little bear claw, if this camera wishes to focus, and so that's still the same. So it's kind of cool. So all these symbols here across the top of the screen, they're all entirely the same from the original game. So why fix something that's not broken, right? So the next ones to look at, we have a Pally. We have a Pally card. Well, actually, we have Gracchus. There's Gracchus, and if you actually turn the card over, Boomer, see, this was originally a hero. You got like the full version of him, and do we know what he is now? Yes, I'm sure you're all well aware of the Argent Protector. So that was the original card, which looks like a lot cooler. You know, it's it makes me a little bit sad from time to time when they put this circle portrait in, and you get to miss out a lot of the cool points of the artwork. We got quite a few rogue cards from the original game as well. Nothing priestly. A lot of things that could have been priestly, but yeah, we definitely digged up a few of these. Now this card Backstab, we don't have one of those, but it looks remarkably similar to this one. It's the same dude, isn't it? I don't know the dude's name, but we've got that one to look at. But what's the cheapest? Eviscerate? No, it was Deadly Poison, of course. Here we go. Oh. No, that's a bit big. We don't want to... It's a scary face on that one there. So there you go. That was Deadly Poison. Again, pretty cheap, 1 mana. At the start of your turn, your hero deals 2 nature damage to attached character. So it just did 2 damage every single turn. Then we have an Eviscerate, I believe. Also called Eviscerate, also costing 2 mana. Big old chunk of text about what it does, so let's not look at that one, but and we do have Assassinate, right? Oh, sorry, we don't have Assassinate, we have Lobotomize. Because apparently removing somebody's brain doesn't assassinate them, as Boomer said earlier. And we get to see some sort of extended weapon on the troll there, and his 2 fingers. But other than that, it's mostly the same picture. We didn't have anything for Chamois, unfortunately. Chamois is another one we have to skip on. Yeah, oh yes, of course. We have Life Tap, which is the Warlock's ability.
It's exactly the same.
Pretty much exactly the same. So this one costs you a card, but you get 2 cards, and you take 2 damage. So yeah, exactly the same. Fundamentally. Other than the fact you can't do it every single turn. And we have... Oh yes, of course. We found this card. You recognise this one? No, it's not Lord Juraxus. It is, of course, Dread Infernal. He was originally just an Infernal. So, he's still 6 mana for a 6/6. And he does 1 damage at the end of the turn? Yeah, at the end of the turn, as opposed to just when he comes into play. And if you didn't discard a card, I think you lost control of him as well, yeah. At the start of your turn, discard a card, or target opponent gains control of it. So, kind of sucked, compared to this version. It's like, you don't have to discard a card with that. That's pretty cool. Now, we've got a few more here. We're going on to the Warriors, just before we get to the neutral stuff. This is called, obviously, Execute, and it used to be exactly the same. Destroy target ally with damage on it. So they just did nothing at all to that one. They just thought, this one's fair. This is what we're getting paid for, just to do absolutely nothing here. Now this is a brutal card, Cleave. Oh. An out of focus cleave. Come on, camera, you can do it. There we go, almost there. Used to have a wall of text, this card. Your hero deals X melee damage to each of up to 2 target allies, where X is 1 plus the attack of one of your weapons. So, yeah, they just went, let's get rid of all that crap. Just 2 damage to 2 guys, and it costs 2 mana. Much better. Hey, you two, could you stand next to each other for a second? That's the, it's a pretty good quote on that one there. I like that one. Stand here, I wish to cleave you. Give you some cleaving, as opposed to some loving. And we have the neutrals! Haha! This dude. Bloodfen Raptor, 2 mana for a 3/2, and is a beast. Originally was called Blood Claw. Only his claw was bloody, not all of him. And he was a 3/1, as opposed to a 3/2, so that's obviously a ridiculous card originally, 1 mana for a 3/1. It was a hunter's pet, yes. And here we have... Do you all recognize Bestial Wrath? What could that possibly be these days? Yep, it's Direwolf Alpha. Target pet has +3 attack this turn. Prevent all damage that will be dealt with. So it's a little bit like the Warrior's ability now. Commanding Shout, if you remember that one. Any others? Ah, yes. This was originally one of the, if not possibly, the most expensive cards in the game. Not for how much in the way of dollars it costs, but for its casting cost. This card is called Rise to the Challenge, and as you can see, it's a very sort of mighty and heroic picture that is now utterly crap. That's a 50 DKP minus. Well, no, he's only had a 12 DKP minus. So yeah, originally the raid leader put you back at full health, filled your hand back up to maximum card size, and gave you 10 extra health on top of that. So in this game, you'd go to 40 health. And go back to 4 cards. So, yeah. They should have probably kept it in this game and kept it at 15 mana so it could never be cast. Just to troll people in Arena when it turned up. It's like, no. Anything else? Aha, yes. So, I'm not sure this was originally 2 different cards. But here's the card that the artwork is on. This is called Fear. So it returns a minion or an ally to owner's hand. But the cool thing is, you can see the little glow in the top corner on Chillwind Yeti of the guy's hands. Obviously, they couldn't crop this out, but you also realise now that this Yeti, he's actually running in fear. Whereas here it looks like he's reaching out to grab you to tear your head off, but actually he's running away. So we now realise that Chillwind Yeti is a complete coward, as opposed to being this sort of nasty guy that we all thought he was. And we have just the one to go. Just the one to go, also costing 4 mana. This is the original Leroy Jenkins. Actually being nerfed a bit. He was originally... Oh, you could argue he's been buffed. Originally 4 mana for a 6-1 as opposed to a 6-2. I'm just going to get the other card here, because I do have another one. When Leroy Jenkins enters play, exhaust all other allies in your party. Obviously, it wouldn't really work for this game, because you can attack when you just attack with all the others before you did that. But they wouldn't be able to block the next turn. And if you say Leroy Jenkins, he has ferocity this turn. Of course, technically it should be Leroy Jenkins, as anyone who's actually watched the video knows that he says Jenkins. I'm not going to shout it. But yeah. Anyway, just to finish this video off, we were having a think about running a tournament, but we wanted to do something a bit different. So we were going to incorporate maybe some of the ideas that already exist in Magic the Gathering for tournament modes. The first of which was Highlander, which was to build a 30-card deck using only one of each cards. And then I sort of took it a bit further and thought, how interesting... That's still not enough, because you can just like pack your deck with probably about 6 or 7 legendaries. I was thinking about, what if you took it a stage further and played best of 3 with 3 different decks, where you can only use one of each card over the whole 3 decks? Because I'm pretty certain most of us can think up like 30 cards. You know, you'd have like one Spellbreaker, one Chillwind Yeti, you know, like maybe a Cult Master. So yeah, I'm pretty one Shattered Sun Cleric. So there'd be a lot of samey cards. But if you had to split all of that good stuff over 3 decks, and then I started to think about that, and I thought, well, then it's just who's got the most money, because you're probably going to be using about 15 legendaries over the 3 decks. So if we didn't include legendaries, because that's just too damn expensive, and you had to build 3 cards of 30. Like, you can have the same class. I mean, you're really going to be struggling if you do play the same class twice, because you've only got so many of the class cards as well. But you know, I thought that was a pretty interesting game mode to do. And of course the other one from Magic the Gathering, which is also quite popular, is of course the peasant mode, that only allows, in this case it'll be commons, so it'll be like the neutral cards like Tracking, and the actual common cards themselves like Explosive Trap. I think you're allowed like originally you were allowed like 5 uncommons, weren't you? But online, in Magic Online now, it used to be you could have like 5 uncommons as well, which in this game would probably be like 2 uncommons. But yeah, it's just completely commons, so you could be interesting like what people would think would be like the most powerful if you could just use the commons, because I quite fancy Pally actually, because Pally's got a lot of really good commons, so you could have like the Blessing of Wisdoms in there. And the Argent Protectors you'd still have access to. And of course the True Silver Champions, and the Blessing of Kings, and the Consecrations, and the Hammer of Wraths, and they're all played in pretty much all the Pally decks anyway, and the Guardian of Kings as well. So you can, yeah, I think you could do okay with Pallies. I mean, obviously Mage isn't affected too much, because you still got Frostbolts, and Mana Worms, and Mirror Image, and Sorcerer's Apprentice, and Arcane Intellect. In fact, there's not that many cards that Mage loses, to be honest. Yeah, you can still play water elementals and polymorphs and fireballs. And you still, importantly, get Flame Strike at the end. So Mage would probably be pretty strong from all those cards there. Yeah, Mage Rush should probably still be quite dominant, I guess, in that format. An aggressive rogue deck might still be fine. Still got Deadly Poison, Cold Blood, Backstab, Ringleader, Shiv, Eviscerate, Fan of Knives, Sap. So you lose the SI7 agents. Still get to keep an Assassinate. Anyway, that's something to think about. So I guess you can all go away and maybe consider building some decks for those deck types. And if there's sort of enough interest on the Facebook page, you know, I guess we'll have to do this for EU only because we can't sort of create a US. But some of the US players can obviously make organise their own little tournaments. We'll get everyone on at some point, because I mean, I've been judging sort of Magic the Gathering tournaments for 15 years. Like, I'm not active anymore now. I'm still a judge, but we know how to run a tournament if needs be. I'm just gonna ask Boomer briefly whether there's any other game modes he could think of. Yeah, so that's another thing to think of, because obviously it sort of spices up the game somewhat. Do the opposite from Pauper and just have like rich mode. Yeah, rares and above only.
Epics and above. Because there's no uncommon rarity, is there?
Well, uncommon is rare now, I guess. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So we'll do the opposite to Pauper as well. Although there probably won't be many people playing that. So rares upwards. Anyway, that's just stuff to think about, I guess. And I guess normal service will possibly resume tomorrow. We'll see. And until then, so share your thoughts on our Facebook page, and we'll see what to do. Maybe I'll work on a deck or two myself. I might even play in the tournament. Until next time, ta-da.